Hello, I just wanted to go over the assignment regarding the research article that I'd like you to read. We often call it journal club presentation. It's basically what you end up doing is you will find a article on any research article on any public health issue of your choice. It has to be a developing country and it has to be an infectious disease. Those are the only two requirements that I have. Other than that, it can be on any public health issue that you would like to discuss. Typically, the way that a research article is structured is typically what you'll have is you'll have an introduction which includes background of the disease, the number of people that are infected, and basically the issue that the investigators are looking at. They'll do Then what they'll do is they'll talk about the methods. Usually includes things like how many people were investigated, what was the parameters, what were the indicators that they were looking at before and after an intervention. It could be multiple different things. It could also be things like a meta-analysis where they look at other people's projects and try to do a review, things like that. And then they'll present the results. Was there anything new? What were the new findings that they had as a result of their interventions? It could, like I said, if it's a review, it could be results of different people's cumulative research studies that were done, and so on. And then they'll do a discussion. Typically during the discussion, what will happen is they discuss the implications. What were the important aspects of this paper? And then the conclusions. How will this be used in the future? For your purposes, what I'd like to do is to discuss, there we go. I'd like to discuss to have you pick any paper of your choice. Again, it can be on any infectious diseases, but it must be related to a developing country. I'd prefer one country, but a couple of countries would be fine. Just keep in mind the scope of the project that you're looking at. It has to be an individual research paper. It can be a review, but I prefer a research paper just because it keeps the scope within reason. And you have between 2.5 and 3 pages. 3 pages to critique this article. That's double-spaced, size 12, and citations if necessary. But just keep it within reason on the length of that. I don't want 3 pages of background. I want this to be more of a discussion on the results that these people had. I want you to think about the whys. So why did they do this research? What was the necessity for this research? And how does this research actually add to the collective of global infectious disease information as a public health interventions? What populations did they choose? Why did they choose those populations? Is this disease an issue that affects children mostly? And if so, why did they choose children versus adults? Particular age groups that they looked at, women's groups, marginalized populations. Who were the major populations and why did they do it? And how would you actually, the other aspect of this that I'd like you to focus on is how would you actually go about to do this study if you had to do it? Would you change anything that they did? Would you include other groups? And how would you follow up? Would you do another study to expand on this particular one based on their findings? I don't want this to be a massive project. This is just like a feeler basically, but this is basically you'll be using this technique a lot in your final paper, so I just want to get you to get used to this. So if you can just do a 2.5 to 3 page critique on an article, that would be the first assignment that I'd ask you to do, and you are more than welcome to use this same article within your large paper if you choose the same disease, as well as the disease introduction that you're going to use for your PowerPoint presentation on a specific disease. I don't mind you using the same disease if you're interested in it, because it is something that will be expanded on throughout the semester. And with that, because I basically am presenting this a couple of days late, and again I apologize, I will give you a 2-day extension on the due date, so if you can have it to me 2 days after the final date that it's due, which I mentioned on the syllabus, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much.